Hello, IUL Insiders. Alright. I am JGolden. To dive right in here, back on January 28th, I made a post about offering to answer questions. My camera stopped on me again. I've had several people contact me either right in the group or privately asking for insight, since I've been at this for 25 years. Doing okay, and I've been working with Doug and a student of Doug's since 2005. So with all that experience, I don't mind people asking me questions, and that's fine. And I like to offer what I can without it getting too deep or taking too much time. Be fair to everyone involved. Diving right in, some of you have communicated with you independently, and that's been a positive experience all around, I think, each time. But here with Pamela, I haven't spoken with her about this. And she asks kind of a lot of things, but I'm going to focus really on where she says she wants to know when to tell someone with confidence about how their policy, maybe they have something already, and when it can be improved, or when it may not be able to be improved. All right, and I'm going to take a second to catch my breath. I'll be right back. There's a lot of things that can be gained from not making that money when you are honest like that, and you're able to swallow that pill of, gosh, I'm not going to get this commission because I have something that we can work on and improve. And that doesn't always work out in a way that hurts. Sometimes, a lot of times, I think it can work out to better things. And I can get into a lot of stories about how that is, but we don't have time for that. That's not what this is about right now. But what you look for is, what allocations are they in? Maybe they just need to be in a better allocation within the same product. All right. Maybe what needs to happen is that product just needs to have a lower death benefits. The more of the money is going, into the savings, where they can get credit, and there's a lot of things when you start understanding the products. Just simple changes like that. Okay. And now, if you do see a product where it's kind of neither here nor there, but you do believe that putting it into something you can do is overall a benefit, then you'd have to work out that math and be really direct with it. How long is it going to take to overcome the fees, from surrender charges? And based on how much time do they have left to be able to be putting money in, and will that recover, and in an amount of time that's suitable for them? Maybe not. Maybe it will. Maybe not. Or if it's Pacific Life, maybe there's some things you can do very creatively with Pacific Life. And that's a whole other discussion. But these things need to be considered. I want to say it's probably 2/3 of the time. In my experience, I think 2/3 of the time you can do something with a product that you have. But I say that with. There's a lot of things to consider, and when I say that, I start thinking, well, maybe not quite that often, but there are a lot of opportunities. And the reason why I say that only is really because if you present, there are in a lot of those situations where a replacement is something that could be suitable. It was more kind of on the line, but there's also the emotional factor. The agent that they had at that time, do they communicate with that person? Why are you there? Okay, they probably don't communicate with that person. Maybe they just get lousy service with that person. Maybe that person maybe they've tried to contact them. So a lot of times when it's sort of on the balance, kind of on the edge, don't be afraid to understand and help them understand that, and it's very fair to say, look, the deciding factor is that you're going to be there. I know I'm there. And you'll be there. I'm there for my people, and I know you'll be there for your people, and that is totally legitimate to say. Don't be afraid to offer that as, one very big piece of the puzzle. All right. So that's something we can talk about for a long time. But as for the rest of what she has to say, that's getting uncomfortable. I'm gonna take a break real quick. Coming back, Jonathan, he's talking about how to deal with older clients, and then how to get them to refer their adult children as potential clients. My camera stopped, and I should probably tell you, my camera will do that sometimes. And also, I apologize, my speech is not really smooth, and it's a little broken because I am concerned more about, breathing and but I'm not nervous to you. I'm nervous about my air, and I apologize. I don't want to sound like this stalker, and I'm letting it come through in the way I speak, and I apologize for that. All right, to go back, since my camera stopped, I'm not sure exactly where you left off, but I'll go back to when I approach my older clients, I'm not asking them for direct referrals from for their kids. I'm asking more along the lines of, what is it about your life and the lessons you've learned that you have wanted to share or express to your children that are big for you, but you don't think that your children, your adult children, that maybe you don't think they're grasping onto, or that you can see that is not something that they are enthusiastic about, or that but you still really would like them to be able to get that excitement or enthusiasm and understand it. And they're almost always, I don't think I've ever had someone, that didn't have anything. There's always something that they want to express or have their children understand. And that's when you have that opportunity to say, look, I'm not trying to sell you anything more. This is something I want to do just as part of what we've already worked out together. What would you like me to help you put together as part of your plan, a way to share that, through some sort of family planning when we come together, and the things that you have put together for your family. And I'm being kind of open about this because every plan that you do is different, and you're going to know where that in might be as part of what it is they're doing on behalf of their kids. Okay, one of my lights went out. Battery, sorry. But what is it about that, your plan, that where can we, if I helped you guide them to that and created a way to help them see the wisdom in it, so that it might be something that they have maybe some enthusiasm over. Would you like me to see what I can do to make that happen? And they're always going to jump on that. And this is where you have a really great opportunity to get to know those kids, what it is that they do. They're going to tell you things about your children that you would need to know if you're planning for them, and they're going to tell you just because they want you to know everything about them. And you'll have that chance to learn those things, and then see where it could be that, okay, through their profession, is there a way to get them to be excited about this aspect of planning or this aspect of experience that connects to them through their work. And that's going to open your mind to a lot of things. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Those are the questions you bring to the group. How do I get them to get their, how do I get their adult children excited about this one aspect of this client's experience? And you bring something like that to Doug or Bud or the group in general, and that's going to be where it's going to create a lot of really great discussion, I think, for all of us. And we're all going to learn a lot from just little simple questions like that. Okay, so that's how I do it. I do it that way, through how do I help you express something, to your children. How can I help you do that? What have you already tried? What can we possibly try together that would be different, but that would help them get that connection? Okay, so there's that. Gosh, I hope I'm not. I do need to take a break. Give me a second. Okay, I had a proper ending, filmed, and I've been editing here, and I decided I want to shorten, condense a lot of what I was saying in the last part, and this is all just with really just because a question. It was a two-parter thing, first about software and then about career advice. First things first, she's someone I have spoken to personally in all of this. Her software questions were a little complex. With I think with Mutual of Omaha is what we're talking about. Me and her ended up getting pretty involved in it, and we figured out her issues. And now what I realized, though, a lot of the advice I give in general can be helpful, and we started with that, but I also realized that it leaves a lot to be desired, from product to product to product, company to company to company. So, I'm gonna skip that really, and if anyone has any, real software issues and thinks that there should be a software training, if IUL Insiders, the people there, Bud, if you guys want me to do something that can help people in general, from one product to another product to another product, I'll be happy to talk to you guys about what's appropriate and maybe doing that. If you guys, unless you guys want to tackle that, of course, on your own, I wouldn't want to take anything away from you. But that is a big thing, a big and very good question about how to illustrate when our concepts here from one company's software and product to another. So that's that. The other thing is, she asked me about my career. Funny thing is, she asked, I think, to begin with, without looking at the question, it was something about when did it pick up? How long was it slow for you? Was there a period of time where it got better and then finally started to really work and click? I'll start out by answering that by saying, look at even Doug, 40 some odd, maybe more years into his career, still going. I mean, not a producer anymore, but still going, still doing, pardon me, breathing, still having to do, maybe not having to, but still doing, something to boost the business, and you can never really stop that. I have a unique situation where I do stop. I don't love selling insurance. Never really did. Don't get me wrong here. I still have had to be involved in it every year of my life ever since I started. Because once you have clients and customers, you got to maintain them and take care of them, and you always got to stay on top of the products. Even when I've been sick in different times in my life with a brain tumor, and then lately and not actively producing, I still have to keep reading things and being up to date on stuff. And you can never stop doing that. I've always loved the technical part of it. Oddly, I'm an extrovert in a lot of ways, but I love taking the numbers, and I love figuring out stuff. In fact, if anybody wanted me to be their backroom numbers guy and take all their numbers and figure stuff out, boy, if I could make a living doing that, I probably wouldn't mind. I like doing it. I like figuring out what company's better. I like working the software. I like figuring out the numbers for the retirement and comparing things. I get a kick out of it. Not sure I can do it forever and ever, but I do get a kick out of doing it, and I do enjoy it. The other thing is, the irony in that I've been really good at closing, good at the selling. I've always been good at that, and I've always had good numbers and good ratios. But that's never been something I've enjoyed. It's something I do well, not something I enjoy. I'm a good closer. I'm a great closer. What some people would say. I mean, thank you when they do, but I think closing is really just sharing. And if you share well, people receive well. And if you're sharing something that makes sense and they need, and you help it be understood, that's why I think I've done well. I only really try to pick people that I think really need what it is that I'm showing them. Otherwise, what am I doing there? I don't want to push something on someone if they don't need it. And so I think that's where the sharing or the ratios are well. It's not that I'm so good at convincing people, it's that I'm just sharing with people that really need it. Otherwise, why am I there? I don't want to be there. And so that's important, and that's the only reason why I've continued to do it. I'm not going to go into homes and with people or spend time talking to them, even though I know I could close it, and I know I can at times. But if I don't think that there's a real reason, I don't want to put myself there. And I'll be very upfront and very honest with them, and I'll show them a lot of things. I still end up closing situations like that. I think mostly because the integrity of that moment, then they have trust. So that's something that hopefully I hope you can understand and learn how to grasp, that concept of learning how to build trust. And then even if you don't end up doing the one thing that you intended to do, if you're doing something that is right for them, great. That's all that really matters. You're doing something that's right for them. But it was through IUL. We didn't call IUL Insiders, called it Team back in the day. But it was through Doug Andrew and what I learned through Team that I did find what I love. I love being a group presenter. I love training, not whether it's being a group presentation. Because of what I learned about setting up seminars with Team, I ended up going on and doing seminars over and traveling the country, and for years going and doing realtors and mortgage people and technology companies. And I worked for a technology company for a while too, years ago. And I was traveling around and learning their presentations and their products, and then doing presentations for them, and huge groups of people, and being paid to speak, and loved it. I didn't like the travel and being away from home, but I loved doing that. I would love to do that again. And especially now when my kids are little tiny kids that I'm seeing every day, all the time anymore, then even better, right? But I would not have found that had it not been through Team and what I was doing and what I learned watching Doug. A lot of what I've answered here, there's things that I knew and learned and had done, whether from other people or through my own experience in learning, teaching myself stuff. But I've still seen a lot of it come out of Doug, even if it's something I may have learned myself or learned from others. The material that he has, if you've had questions that I've answered, great. But maybe buried deep in his materials, but a lot of the answers are there. Maybe not all of them, but they're there. And I think that if you make a point of asking if they want to ask me to help present things, I would be happy to. but they don't miss a beat. If you want something, ask, tell them. They're great people. I've been learning and or being associated with team and the people behind IUL Insiders everything since like 2005. Always loved them. I always have. I'm not working right now. I'm not really able to do really anything or be a part of it, but I love that they're allowing me to be a part of it anyway, in the way that we've worked out. They're good people. So I hope that answers things for you. And feel free to let me know if there's things that you think that I can be useful to you in terms of answering. There's some things I've been asked that I think go beyond a question, and I've said that this is something where I would need to be a part of, either compensated or a part, a piece of something, because when you can start doing things on a very specific and personal level, it goes beyond just answering a question. And I'm open about that, but at the same time, I want to give as much as I can, without having to think of it that way. Because it was when I started out in this business that when people showed me how to do things and how to do things, that's what led me to knowing where to look and to learn. So I like to be able to give back where it's appropriate to do so. So that's where I'm at. Thanks so much, and I hope this has been helpful.